So Bradley Beal is the most exciting potential trade dude this season. Some others being Kevin Love. Could see somebody taking him away from the Cavs for another offensive option. And then there's the ongoing Chris Paul thing with the OKC Thunder. But even if it's not one of these guys, we know some significant NBA players are going to get traded this season. So what teams are in a position to make those kinds of moves? Well, the first one that I want to talk about is the Portland Trail Blazers, a team that I kind of do this with every year, I feel like. I just love Damian Lillard so much, man, and I want that guy to be on a real title contender. Of course, he just ended the OKC Thunder. CJ had balls of steel in that Game 7 against the Nuggets, and now we just see how can these guys take the next step. Now, they made some interesting moves this offseason. Those could work out. But in terms of a real trade, for one, there's Zach Collins as an asset. He is a center who I think shows a lot of signs of being a modern-day big with his shooting and his switchability on defense. We've got Anthony Simons, who they are talking up something fierce. They're acting as if he is going to be an impact player for them this season. We're going to have to see. There's also their recent draft pick, Nasir Little, who I don't think scouts were doing backflips over, but he does show some intriguing signs. Don't ask me what they are because I have no actual idea. As far as expirings, there's Kent Bazemore, who I do think they're hoping can actually help them out this year, but he's got about $19 million in a 1 year. And there's also the big experiment in Hassan Whiteside. He's making over $20 million in expiring money this season. So the Blazers are going to be able to make the money work for any kind of move. They have all of their first-round picks moving forward. They have young assets. And they have a reason to be aggressive with one of the best players in the league on their team. Hopefully they do something. Now, I'm sure the Miami Heat will do something. They recently got themselves a real number one option again in Jimmy Butler. I'm pretty excited to see Jimmy in Eric Spoelstra's offense. There's a lot of motion, and Spo's just got himself a real dude who can run ISOs and pick and rolls for the first time in a while, so that's cool. But I don't think they're going to stop just there. I feel like Miami has the mentality of, once we've got something, we just want to get more of it. And that mainly comes from Pat Riley in the front office. You have Goran Dragic's expiring contract. The fact that he's still a decent player might help you out with a potential move. You've also got Myers Leonard. He is mainly a contract guy. I don't think anybody's going too crazy over him. You do have Tyler Hero as one of your potential trade pieces. Now, I know Miami fans have fallen in love with him because I think he can be a real offensive option. You might have to part ways with him. Justice is a very interesting one. I love him at point guard, and I think his career is going up. But it's the same thing. If a star player is available, you might have to trade him away. Now, please excuse me as I get way too carried away with Bam Adebayo's potential. To me, Bam can be an alley-oop finishing, rim protecting, super athlete who can also one day make jump shots, if not this upcoming season, and also be a playmaker. So basically what I'm getting at is, if it was up to me, Bam Adebayo would be the one untouchable. Now, maybe you think Justice is untouchable. I see what you're getting at. I'm not there with you. Now, Miami does not have all of their first-round picks moving forward, but they do have still a couple. And I don't think Pat Riley is going to mess around. If he's got a chance to get somebody, he's not going to let sentimentality get in the way of making this team better. Now, Trae Young and the Hawks are going to get better this season, just off of progression. But my question is, do we really have to play the long game with this team? We already know Trae Young is really good, and to me, no one on this team besides him is untouchable. So, could they make a move? They have the expirings. Evan Turner and Chandler Parsons and Alan Crabb combined for a whole lot of money. I'm just saying, if you can get a second star next to Trae Young right now and you don't have to give up everything, why not do it? I mean, does that mean you'd have to give up John Collins? Potentially. I mean, I know the guy put up 20 and 10 a year ago, but call me cynical, I'm not convinced that he's just going to be this awesome player. But he's exciting, no doubt. Then we have Kevin Huerter, who occasionally looks like the next Klay Thompson. Do we really think he's going to get to that point? I don't know. I mean, there's a chance Atlanta just has the mentality of, we just want to build up the young guys and we're not looking to shake things up, and I really wouldn't fault them for that, but can we get a little ambitious? I mean, they just drafted DeAndre Hunter. He could be attractive to other teams as a trade asset. There's also Cameron Reddish, who's very interesting. And I'm just going to go back to what I said before, okay? You have Trae Young, and you have a bunch of other guys who are cool, exciting. We'll have to see what they become. If you can trade a couple of those guys in for a guaranteed second star, would you not do it? I'm just saying. And now it's time for my favorite trade team outside of my Celtics, of course. So everything that I just said about Trae Young, just apply that to Zion. I don't care if the guy hasn't played a game in the NBA yet. I'm all in on the hype, and I think he's already earned you building around him. And the cool thing is you still got Drew for quite a few seasons, so if you get a third dude who can help you win right now, then I mean, you could be looking pretty in the Western Conference. They're also my favorite Bradley Beal team because I just think the fit is beautiful. Like Beal's shooting and Zion on the team, it just makes all the sense in the world. What would you have to trade? It's probably Lonzo or Ingram, potentially both. Look, I like both of these guys. I understand you just traded for both of them with the Anthony Davis deal, but their fit next to Zion, it's weird, to say the least. The lack of shooting could be a bit alarming. Now, I'm just using Bradley Beal as an example. There's a chance you could hold on to one of those guys if you were going for a lesser player. We'd have to see what the Pelicans want to do. As for the assets, you got Derek Favors is expiring, and then you've also got all of the draft picks that you got from the Lakers and the Anthony Davis deal. Finally, the Denver Nuggets. Jokic is the real deal. No doubt. He's a top 10 player. He averaged like 30 and a million against the Blazers. Jamal Murray is interesting. Now, I don't think I'm as high on Murray as the Nuggets are, but the crazy thing is you can hold on to him because this team is so deep and has enough assets and good young players to where you could probably still pull off a decent move, although, negotiating and all that stuff. For one, there's Michael Porter Jr. Could definitely be a trade asset for other teams. We'll have to see if he's healthy and what he looks like. There's a chance he's so good the Nuggets would just hold on to him. Maybe that happens, I don't know. You also have some sweeteners in Gary Harris, although there are some concerns about his health. Malik Beasley is a nice player who I've been saying teams should trade for the last 3 years. And then there's Mason Plumlee's expiring to make it all work. So if the Nuggets could get a second All-Star next to Jokic, they'd be really scary in the Western Conference.